Coach, here next week, the Chester Cyclones will take the field as defending state champions for the first time in over 55 years in any boys sport. Has your approach changed at all, going from being a contender to now being the defending champion?
Our approach hadn't changed. Our mindset's changed a little bit because we have to understand what to expect now. Expectations are a lot higher compared to before, when expectations might have been a little lower. So I don't think anything that we've done physically or the way we do things, we've kept it the same, but our mindset and approach to the season has been a little different.
Last year offensively, people kept thinking, well, Chester's going to have to throw it eventually because somebody will stop them on the ground, and that never happened, actually. I think you have about 900 yards passing for the year. Total will probably be a little higher this year, though, right?
I would think. We'll be a little more balanced this year just because of personnel usage.
You did have some losses on the offensive line. You have a lot of talent back from last year, but you've kind of manufactured some starting experience on that line, haven't you?
Well, we've got some starts, but not necessarily at the offensive line positions. Darrell Woods, who started at tight end for us last year, is playing offensive guard. And Demarius Thompson, who started at tight end and H-back for us last year, is playing offensive tackle. And both of those guys played in 15 games. So they got a lot of game experience and played in a lot of big games, but just not necessarily on the offensive line.
Obviously, a guy who got a lot of attention last year was your quarterback, Zan Dunham. Aren't many freshmen who start on 15-0 state championship teams. He's noticeably bigger this year and looks a little bit more comfortable throwing the ball, too, it appears.
Well, I think he's more comfortable all the way around. I think just having the 15 games under his belt, you think about coming from middle school, you come in unsure, not wanting to make mistakes, unsure of what risk to take. He handled everything well last year, but we didn't ask as much of him as we will this year. And I think he's grown into a comfortable position at quarterback now where he understands everything a little better, and I think he'll be able to do a lot more.
And seeing him in the spring game and then y'all's first couple of scrimmages, I mean, he's still a sledgehammer of a runner. I mean, he's a big kid, but he looks a little bit more elusive. Is that by design, or is that just part of his natural development?
Well, I think it's development and him just feeling comfortable. I think as a freshman, he was unsure, didn't want to make a mistake, so I'm going to try to run over this guy to be safe. Whereas now, I think he understands the game a little more and understands what he's capable of a little more. And I think he have a little more in the arsenal this time around.
Defenses look good through the first couple of scrimmages. You have a lot of talent back there, in particular up front. Detail what, in particular, Quay and Teddy bring to the field.
Well, just having two guys back that have played at a high level for 3 years is just huge for the defensive line development in general. We have high expectations for these guys. They made a lot of plays last year. It was a very productive year for both guys. And I think they've been able to grow through those 15 games, get better and better. And I think the bar has been raised a little bit. And I think they're ready to meet the challenge.
And you have a couple of new starters in the secondary, but in a lot of ways having those guys up front kind of helps them, doesn't it?
There's no doubt about it. A good defensive line makes your secondary better regardless of how good they are.
All right. For the Chester Cyclones to have a successful season, and obviously last year was the best in school history. No team had ever gone 15-0. It had been 55 years since a boys team had won state in any sport at Chester. For this year to be successful, what needs to happen?
Well, first of all, we got to block all the excessive noise out of the way. We need to block the noise out of the way, remember the road we travel to get where we are, and just play up to our capability. I think we'll be fine.